Hey, look, it's a box. I wonder what's inside of it. Let's crack it open and find out. It's a guitar. You already know it's a guitar, thanks to the title and the thumbnail. I can't hide anything from you guys. Someday I'm going to surprise you with something, I promise. So anyways, why have I obscured the box? That's the question you guys are all asking right now. Well, it's because the manufacturer went out of their way to design a special, pretty, fancy box for you, the potential customer out there. But I'm not a potential customer, I'm a guitar YouTuber. And they wanted to send this guitar to me so I could film it, but they didn't have those fancy custom designed boxes in yet, so they improvised a box and they didn't want you guys to see it. They didn't want you guys to get a poor impression from the box. But I'm promising you guys, their improvised box is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a great box, and I have no worries about how well the guitar has been protected inside of this improvised box that I'm not going to show you. So anyways, let's crack it open and check out the guitar that lies within. And there it is, the Pearson Instruments Hyper B Gen 4 headless aluminum bodied guitar. Look at the way it catches the light. I'm playing with the lights in here right now. Oh, I love that. I love any guitar that does something different. And this is very, very different. That goes without saying, right? So what we have here is obviously a headless guitar, but also a guitar with a completely aluminum body. And not just completely aluminum, it's made from sheets of aluminum that are cut out and then sandwiched together to form this extremely futuristic situation here. It's so futuristic, I'm wondering if it's too futuristic to be on a spaceship. No, I think it's going to look perfect hanging back there when I'm done with this demo. It is right at home. It's got a bit of a Jason X quality to it, doesn't it? So let's take a look. Let's figure out what's going on here. I have been just itching to explore this guitar. Now I finally get to. This is too cool. This is one of those days where I love my job, that I get to spend time checking out and exploring fun stuff like this. So anyways, let's do the thing that I like to do when I'm checking out a guitar. I'm going to go tip to tail and show every little bit that I discover along the way. So first of all, they have the string retainer at the nut, well, past the nut, on where the headstock would be if this had a headstock. And they've got it branded Pearson. They've got their logo there. Looks like we've got D'Addario strings. Very classy presentation on the headstock. I don't know what material the nut is. I've got the website open. Might as well take a peek, right? I'm assuming bone. It is. It is a bone nut, 42 millimeters wide. We've got a rosewood fretboard here. I'm assuming some sort of baked, fried, sous vide, roasted maple neck sort of situation going on here. I mean, I could just read, right? Satin roasted maple. The neck profile is modern C. The scale length is 25.5 inches. The fretboard material is rosewood. The radius is 12 inches. Fret count 24. The frets are stainless steel medium jumbo. Bone nut, like I already mentioned. Inlays are silver dots. Side markers are white. Okay, all right. The rest of this, I think I can figure out on my own. So we've got a roasted maple neck here with a rosewood fretboard. Stainless steel frets, 12-inch radius. I said all this already. Let's move down to the body. The neck is connected to the body, obviously, like every neck should be. But very interesting construction here. You have a bit of like an I-beam sort of thing going on with two vertical supports going down the middle to give it some thickness. Enough thickness for the screws, which go up the sides of that I-beam to connect to the neck. They ought to, you know, partner up with an aluminum neck company and do an all aluminum guitar at some point here. That's a very interesting way of connecting the neck when there's not a traditional body to screw into. And I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of kind of like interesting ways of getting around doing things the normal way being just screwing things into wood. Like these pickup mounts are very interesting to me. They had to come up with a whole new way of suspending the pickups. There is a rod going up each side of each pickup with a flat piece at the top for the screw for the pickup to sit in, and they've drilled a hole into the body to allow for full-length humbucker screws, which can be stupidly long sometimes. I always find myself trimming humbucker screws. They could have just done that. They could have just been like, hey, let's just trim these screws. They don't need to be so long. But they drilled out the body so that when you swap out the pickups, if you want to, you don't have to trim those screws. I think that's very smart design. We have got a wraparound style bridge here, but you're not using it as a wraparound bridge because the strings are going to the tuners that are at the butt end. That is an interesting way of approaching that. Looks like a solid piece of hardware. I mean, everything is beautiful, metallic and chrome. Shiny and chrome, as they say in the post-apocalyptic wasteland. We've got multiple switches here, a three-way switch, a volume, a tone, no secret push-pulls on that. I'm assuming these are splits for the humbuckers to sound like singles. Locking tuners down here that you access from the back of the guitar, conveniently. As someone who has multiple just trays of random screws and little metal doodads and things that I've been saving for some random project in the future, like something like this is very exciting to me, seeing how every little bit of it is put together. There's just all these screws and bolts and spacers and inventive little ways to pull this off. But what does it sound like? What does it play like? Let's get it plugged in and tuned up and answer those questions. Now it's corny. All tuned up, which I gotta say was a very interesting experience as far as muscle memory goes, trying to remember how these turn and what to do to pluck the string while I'm turning them. I was plucking them with my left hand while tuning with my right hand. It felt unnatural, but then eventually I got used to it and I'm fine now. I gotta say, I didn't point it out earlier, but really nice rounded ball ends on the edges of the frets here. I haven't even started playing it yet, and I'm starting to notice little things like that. I'll put up close-up pictures as I go. All right, before I get started, I should let you know that I'm going to be running into the motherboard, which is my ship's pedal board. Over here, you can see exactly what I'm doing when I do it, and I'm running into the 1-2 Princeton's rig.
Hey, that's my job.
Okay, all right, Tony, you can do it.
Ryan is running into the 2 Princeton's rig.
All right, here we go. Let's actually play the thing now. I'm assuming I am on the bridge pickup with the switch in that position. Yep, sounds like it does the normal thing. This should be volume. Yep, this should be tone. Yep, tone confirmed. And then these must be splits for the humbuckers. Yeah. Neck. Trying to figure out if I accidentally turned Yeah, so it seems like there's a little bit of a muscle memory thing I'm gonna have to get used to. When I flick the pickup selector to the neck position, my finger wants to go in and it accidentally tweaks the volume knob. So just something to be aware of. Every guitar that I've ever covered on this channel for the past 11 years, there's been someone in the comment section that has just been up in arms about the switch placement. Like, how dare they put the switch there? I'm gonna hit it while I'm doing this other thing. Every guitar is different. Every guitar that I own, I've had to get used to the switch placement, the knob placement, etc., etc. When you use a guitar enough, you get used to it. Eventually, I have a feeling what I'll train my hand to do is to rest my thumb right there. Yeah, it feels right. Rest my thumb on the volume when I flick that, just to make sure that the volume stays put. Honestly, it's very rare I ever touch a knob on a guitar anyways. I'm all about just using pickup selection to change my sound. So, I don't know, maybe I should put a lock knob on there or something for when I really, really need it. But I have a feeling my muscle memory is going to catch up pretty quick on that. All right, so neck pickup split. That's what I was getting to, right? This is the humbucker, I think. And here is the split. Yep, that's what it is. Back to humbucker. That is the middle position. Let's try it with a few different split options. Here's the middle with the neck split. I'm kind of amazed how comfortable I am with it right off the bat. I mean, the body shape is comfortable, and actually, yeah, they have rounded the front edge of this armrest right here. I mean, it's still a sheet of aluminum, but the whole thing is very light. And they've rounded this so it's not biting into my skin the way it would if it was not rounded, like the back edge of it. Yeah, right there, they introduced some rounding so that it's a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, the weight feels good, feels balanced. I'm not missing the headstock yet. It just kind of sits on your leg like that. All right, okay, so here was the neck split, bridge humbucker. Here is the bridge split, neck humbucker. And here is the middle position with everything split. With everything humbucker. It does feel like it would be a fun ska guitar. Back to the bridge. There's something very interesting about the feel of it, like the tonal feel of it. Where is the tone wood? The tone wood is missing. It's all in the neck. There's like little sound surprises going on here and there. Like that D and G string feel very metallic to me and sound very metallic. I'm not sure I would hear a difference with the low E and the A. But you hit that G, You know, I got these plastic covers on here. Should have taken those off at the beginning. Well, that makes it official. It's mine now. I own it. That's like licking a guitar. When you're the one to take off the plastics, it becomes yours. But I'm having the thought that I could adjust the height of a pole piece underneath that G string to see if I can get a little bit more heat from it. Yeah, that G fills out a little bit better now that I raised the pole piece. It's matching the output of the strings around it anyways, but I'm still picking up this kind of like metallic twang that I don't hate. It's just different. The action is also like crazy fast, so I'm getting a little tiny bit of a buzz that I could massage out just by raising the bridge a little bit. But once I throw on some distortion or overdrive or reverb or something like that, none of that's gonna matter. Yeah, even on that D string, I'm getting this metallic twang. Very interesting. I'm glad that it sounds different. You wouldn't want this to be the same as another guitar. You want it to be its own thing, or you're not getting it, right? Okay, back to the humbucker mode. Yeah, I'm glad I raised that that little magnet on the G string on the bridge. Might as well go through all the settings again. Sounds like I might need to adjust the neck pickup to be where I want it to be as well. It's very low string heavy. I think I'm going to lower that neck pickup eventually to just drop off how much I'm getting from those low strings versus the high strings, just to get a little bit more balance. Let's start throwing some effects at it. How about some overdrive from the left side of my 50/50 pedal? Let's start with the bridge. Everything is on humbucker mode. I like the output of the pickups. They're not crazy hot. They have that humbucker oomph and thick mid sort of thing going on. They seem to split all right. We'll cover that more as we get into the spring reverb section of the demo. But yeah, so much of liking or disliking a humbucker or any pickup really is not just the sound, it's the feel. And by the feel, I mean the sound that you get as a response to your playing style. So yeah, it's the sound still, but it's like the way it feels when you're playing it and the output that you get from your playing. There's a relationship there. there is an interaction that happens that you either enjoy or you don't. I'm enjoying these pickups. They sit right where I like humbuckers to sit as far as output goes. You might disagree. You probably have different tastes than me, but I like them. Playing some noodly nonsense here. Something I'm noticing as well, it is a 25.5-inch scale length here, which is, you know, a classic Fender, Strat, Telecaster, Jazzmaster scale length. Typically, I'm used to that scale length having more tension and twang on the strings, but I think the fact that you're missing the string length from the headstock is giving it more of a loose, soft, floppy, almost like Gibson scale sort of feel. There's just less string pulled up to tension, and it just feels a little bit looser, a little bit softer to me versus that kind of bright telephone cable twang that you get from a standard headstock 25.5-inch scale. The action is very low, which I will say, much lower than I usually keep guitars set, and it's handling it well. So there is that element, but it just does feel like it takes a lighter touch, which some people might appreciate knowing. All right, let's try that on the split. Middle position humbucker. Middle position bridge split. Middle position both pickup split. Middle position with a humbucker and a split neck. And the neck pickup humbucker. And neck pickup split. Plenty of sounds to play around with there, huh? Okay, let's do that all again, but with some little bright lead lines. Here's the single coil sound from that neck pickup. Middle position, all humbuckers. Middle position, neck split. Middle position, both split. Middle position, bridge split. Middle position, all humbucker. And then bridge humbucker. Something I'm noticing as I'm playing those high strings is that the vibration from the strings on the high B and the E, the high E, it's transferring across the bridge into the D and the A. I believe that's what's happening. Yeah, I'm getting a ringing out of the other strings while I focus just on those high strings. I don't know if I'm only noticing it right now because this guitar is so different, or if that happens all the time. But yeah, all the other strings are ringing out with this like sympathetic kind of drone as I just focus on those others. Huh. That's either a feature or a flaw, depending on who you talk to. Is that a characteristic of an all-metal body where just the resonance is spreading out to every other string? There's no awful, porous, imperfect wood to slow down those frequencies? Interesting. Now I've got both sides of the 50-50 running to give us more of a heavy, distorted sort of sound. Let's get aggressive. Call them out, but I just went through all the pickup settings there. Some reverb on that. Yeah. It likes it. Big surprise. It likes higher gain and a splash of reverb, but does it like doing a surfy thing? Let's find out. Obviously, I don't have a wiggle stick. By the way, I'm running the Surfy Bear reverb with an external pan tucked behind the motherboard. I'm using my full-size spring reverb pan back there with one of the springs muted, so you're hearing one spring. It's a little trick I like to do. So that has been the humbucker. Here's the single. Feel like it needs a little bit of a boost. I'm going to boost it with the clean side of the not a dumble. Here's the middle position, all single coil tones, both humbuckers split. On to the neck pickup, split. I'll try that without the not a dumble. That's a spicy mix. What do you guys think? I've been having fun playing it. It feels very different. It's a very unique experience. It didn't feel challenging at all. I'll say that. It didn't feel like I was playing a completely new instrument. It still felt like a guitar to me, despite there being this very skeletal, sheet metal situation of a body. Something I was worried about is just how drastic of a jump you get from the back of the body and honestly the face of the body to the height of the strings. Like that is a big jump right there, and I don't have any other guitars that have that sort of thing going on. But I gotta say, with my arm resting there on the armrest, it just put my hand where I needed to be. I didn't even notice how much space I had right here. It just did the thing ergonomically. Tonally, it feels and sounds unique. There's a bit of this metallic, kind of like dry, empty metal tank twang to it at times. There is a resonance thing going on where the strings are bleeding into the other strings and things like that. but it's very comfortable to play. The pickups sound nicely balanced to me. I'm going to spend some time dialing them in exactly how I want them to sound for me. Seems very tuning stable, probably because it doesn't have a wiggle stick for me to abuse. But yeah, I didn't really have to revisit the tuning. It feels rock solid. And they're somewhat affordable too. I'm a little bit surprised at how affordable they are. These are all made in New Zealand, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, which is on Earth. If you're not aware, I'll show a map of where New Zealand is in case you're curious. Yeah, it's very interesting. It looks beautiful. It looks very unique. That's for sure. That is for sure. It's got a strap button right there and another one hidden down in there. So it would hang on your body about like that. It's very lightweight. Let me grab a scale. Just hang it from one of the many open holes on this guitar. Just over 6 pounds, 6.08 pounds. Nice and lightweight and compact, thanks to not having a headstock or very much of a body. That's a lightweight guitar for being pretty much an all-metal guitar, except for the neck, obviously. But yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's beautiful and unique looking. It was comfortable to play in a way that I wasn't expecting. I was expecting it to be a real hassle to get used to, but it kind of just sat against me, and I just played it like a guitar. I just did my guitar thing with it. I'm not sure, actually I'm very sure, I'd never use this in a surf band as a dedicated surf guitar. It ain't got no wiggle stick. I need that wiggle stick if I'm gonna do surf guitar. But otherwise, if you like the sound, you like the look, you like the price, I can't see any reason why someone wouldn't play this for any sort of project. I think it's got a fun element that's hard to argue with. But what do you guys think? Tell me down in the comments what you think about this guitar. What do you think about the price? Click the link down below to find out what they're charging for these things right now. I don't know when you're watching this. You could be watching this 1,000 years in the future for all I know. So check out the price when you click the link and let me know what you think about that. I think it's cool. Thanks for sending it out, Pearson Instruments. I'm really glad I got to try one of these things. I hope the audience likes this coverage as well. I just like watching it catch the light. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, just like leaving your rude, nasty comments. Support us on Patreon. Buy a shirt if you're naked and stay grounded. Bye, everybody.